In this video, we're going to cover every fight on the UFC 309 card, starting with Hardy versus Mora. Mora was just a beast, man. Mora was a beast, and Hardy did okay. I think she should have thrown more kicks. When she was throwing kicks, she was landing, but it was just a tough hill to climb for her, and it was a good fight. Then you have Hafez versus Elliott. Elliott went out there, and it was they were both hesitant to engage first. They were both hesitant to lead the dance. They both wanted to be counter fighters, and eventually Elliott found the shot and he landed. It was kind of a staring contest for a lot of the fight. A lot of feints, a lot of like little minor things like a jab or a leg kick, like feeling each other out, and then finally the punch came. Then you have Brahimaj versus Gall. That was just a dominant fight by Brahimaj. He just beat up Mickey Gall. Don't know where Mickey Gall goes from here. Probably outside of the UFC. No disrespect. Brahimaj put the hat on Joe Rogan. It was an Albanian hat. Things like that. I don't want to be a stickler here, but I think fighters are getting a little too comfortable with Joe. Just touching Joe, putting hats on him, jumping up in his arms. You got female fighters I'm not going to bring up former career past, but you got fighters jumping up in his arms and stuff like that. It's just people too comfortable touching Joe. Tybura versus Denise. Tybura dominated, bro. Tybura showed experience. Tybura just the elbows Tybura was landing. He was landing elbows on his cheekbone, on like the mouth guard. Like I have a different perspective ever since Robert Whitaker crushed the teeth of got his teeth crushed by Hamzat Chimaev. When I see a shot that lands here, it's like you gotta think, bro, that's landing on the teeth technically. I know there's a mouth guard there, but dude, enough pressure that'll break right through a mouth guard. Don't get it twisted. Anything can happen in this cage. Anmar versus Romero. Anmar just did his thing. Anmar did his thing against the guy who I believe filled in on short notice, and he just pieced him up. Moving on from that, Miller versus Jackson. Miller turned back the clock again. Miller did it again. He's talking about going up to 50 fights in the UFC. That's what he wants to hit. He just had his 45th. Jim Miller turned back the clock. Shout out New Jersey. Moving on to Weidman versus Anders. This fight got canceled. In my opinion, the people want to see Chris Weidman. It's Madison Square Garden, right? It's his home, New York. Why not do something where you could do, there's so many fighters there, offer for like some sort of grappling match. I don't know. I think that would be cool. They could do like an intermission kind of a thing. Okay, now we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to have Chris Weidman go out there and grapple this guy. You're still going to get to see the hometown guy, Chris Weidman. So that's just an idea. Moving on to Martinez versus McGee. McGee did his thing. Martinez was in there. It was a tough fight. Nothing too notable came out of this fight, though. Rufi versus, I don't know how to say that name, but Joe Rogan kept comparing this guy to Conor McGregor, and I disagree. I think at this point in Rufi's career, he should be finishing these fights, and he didn't. He went the distance with this guy. And if you're a Conor McGregor-esque guy, you need to finish those early fights. When you're first into the UFC, you need to start finishing people, okay? You just do. Sorry. Araujo versus Silva. Honestly, I forget which one. They look the same. You know what I mean? They look the same. I forget which one of these won, so we're just going to move past it. But it was a fun, competitive fight, I will say that. Then you have Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig. Man, this is what busted up my parlays. I had like 3 or 4 different parlays. All of them would have got me big bucks, but it's just not my time. Not on my timing, it's on God's timing when I will receive these blessings, right? That's how you gotta look at it. That's how it is. Bo Nickel Craig. I expected more from Bo Nickel. I thought Bo Nickel would have wanted to follow up Hamzat Chimaev's dominant performance over Robert Whitaker with a dominant performance of his own. And he kind of had a dominant performance, but I just felt like, why are you striking with a guy who you could easily take down and out-grapple? You want to say, oh, Paul Gregg's jiu-jitsu had him scared. I don't know if that's the case. I think Bo Nickel just wanted to show off his striking and prove to the world that he can do it. But I don't need him to prove that. I just need him to go out there and win. And in my opinion, he chose the harder path to do so. Don't forget, Bo Nickel grappled with Gordon Ryan, and he gave him a run for his money before Gordon ultimately submitted him the way he submits everybody. So I was disappointed in Bo Nickel for that, for his path to victory here, and It is what it is. Then you've got Oliveira versus Chandler. Man, this was a fight that I thought Michael Chandler had in the bag. I thought the magic was over for Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira for most of his career was kind of like a ups and downs kind of fighter. You know, he wins two, he loses one. He wins three, he loses two. Like it's just ups and downs for Charles Oliveira. And he finally hit a path where he was just up, 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 no downs, and he was beating everybody. Chandler, Gaethje, Poirier. He was just beating everybody, and in impressive fashion. Great finishes. You know what I mean? Charles Oliveira showed that the magic is not done. He still has it, and I don't know what to say about Michael Chandler, man. This guy, when he was throwing the left hook, it was landing. In the first fight, dude, go watch the first fight. He landed the left hook over and over again, and it landed every time. It was really giving Charles Oliveira a hard time. And then go watch how Islam Makhachev dropped Charles Oliveira. It was with the left hook. You know what I mean? So there's something to the left hook that Charles Oliveira doesn't see, and his defense isn't there for it. But Chandler just didn't really throw it much at all. But Chandler is still in a good spot because he is the one of the more exciting fighters in the world, and I think a BMF title fight with Max Holloway would be pretty cool. Chandler threw that out there. He threw out the Conor McGregor. That would still be huge. Like Michael Chandler's not hurting here. Michael Chandler won with a loss, you know. And then you've got the granddaddy of them all. You've got the main event. The GOAT versus the GOAT. Godzilla versus King Kong. Freddy versus Jason. Batman versus Superman. That's what this fight was. This fight was a tremendous crossover between two legends. And shame on you if you allowed for any outside circumstance to creep in and make you not enjoy this fight and watch through a negative lens, which I know a lot of people did, and it's unfortunate because what we got last night was the highest level of MMA. Now, to the actual fight, dude, Jon Jones, I usually say George St. Pierre's the GOAT, but I think you have to say Jon Jones is the GOAT now because he at least defended the title at heavyweight and against Stipe, who's he's the GOAT of the UFC heavyweight division. It's like when George St. Pierre, I always say, oh, he beat Matt Hughes, who was the welterweight GOAT. Well, guess what? Jon, not only did he beat many great light heavyweights, and he became the light heavyweight GOAT himself, but now he beat the heavyweight GOAT. So now he matched bar for bar George St. Pierre's accomplishment. It's crazy. Moving on. Jon Jones beats Tom Aspinall, guys. Jon Jones beats Tom Aspinall. What he did to Stipe was incredible. Nobody in the heavyweight division does that to Stipe. I promise you. All of you want to talk about the age. 42 years old, 42 years old. You guys are clowns. You guys are literally coping clowns, and you haven't watched the sport for long, so you don't know what you're talking about, and it's okay. I've watched since 2009. Leave a follow, and you will get educated. We are doing a casual rehabilitation program. That's what this channel is about, okay? Casual rehabilitation. You come in, I give you treatment, you listen to the videos, you listen to the facts that I drop, and you start to cure that casual brain of yours. We're giving out treatment to the casuals. Casual Rehabilitation Center. Now, Randy Couture won a title at heavyweight at 46 years old, okay? 46 years old, he won a title. 42 ain't old for heavyweight, so let's get that out the way. Jon Jones has the best Muay Thai in the UFC. I said it. His Muay Thai is better than any one punch someone could land. His distance control, his distance management, his timing, his grappling. Now that the best grappler in the world that I mentioned earlier, Gordon Ryan, has taken him under his wing. I mean, come on, guys. Jon Jones just keeps getting better even at this stage in his career. His ground and pound is the best in the UFC. Nobody has better ground and pound than Jon Jones. It's devastating. You do not want Jon Jones on top of you. Tom Aspinall only has a puncher's chance against Jon Jones, and it's not enough. You need more than a puncher's chance against Jon Jones. It's MMA, and anything could happen, and a puncher's chance does take you far. But Jon Jones is just so versatile that it's hard for me to close my eyes, look into the crystal ball, and outside of a puncher's chance and Jon Jones slipping on a banana peel, it's hard to see Tom Aspinall winning. That spinning back kick that Jon Jones landed that he says he's been perfecting would drop Tom Aspinall all the same, just like it dropped Stipe. Now, let me know what you think in the comment section below, whether you agree, disagree, it doesn't matter. Join the discussion, follow for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.